Muy buenas noches en México, muy buenos días en Camboya. A nombre de la Buena Impresión, Asociación Civil de la Autoridad Nacional Apsara, Autoridad para la Protección de Sitio y Gestión de la Región de Angkor, de la Autoridad Nacional de Preavía, de la Universidad Real de Bellas Artes de Camboya, del Instituto Nacional de Antropología e Historia y de la Fundación BBVA Bancomer, les damos la más cordial bienvenida a este primer coloquio de Arqueología y Restauración México-Camboya. Mi nombre es Bertrand Lobjoa, profesor asociado del Departamento de Humanidades de la Universidad de Monterrey y para la presente conferencia fungiré como moderador. Ahora cedo la palabra al maestro Fernando Aceves Humana para dirigirnos unas palabras previamente a la presentación de nuestro conferencista. Buenas noches, Fernando.
Buenas noches. Pues bueno, yo quisiera agradecer al señor a su excelencia Hampiu de la Autoridad Nacional Apsara, al señor Kong Putikar de la Autoridad Nacional de Preavigea y al rector de la Royal University of Fine Arts, Genso Padí, que están con nosotros, al director del INA, Diego Prieto, y pues a Chausun Keria, que organiza todo esto. Quiero también agradecer a Charlotte Taylor, que nos ha ayudado mucho a formar esta propuesta, y pues bienvenidos.
Muchas gracias, maestro Fernando Aceves. Les quiero antes de antemano presentar a entonces nuestro conferencista del día de hoy. Se trata del arqueólogo Kieu Chan. Y bueno, nos va a presentar la conferencia Angkor Thom, Ciudad Capital, una excavación de rescate en la Plaza Real. El arqueólogo Kieu Chan es arqueólogo adscrito a la Autoridad Nacional para la Protección y Gestión de Angkor y la región de Siem Reap. Y porque es dependencia del Ministro de Cultura y Bellas Artes del Reino de Camboya. Se graduó por la Facultad de Arqueología por la Universidad Real de Bellas Artes en Phnom Penh, Camboya, y además tuvo diferentes capacitaciones para completar su formación de arqueólogo y así aplicarlas en sus propias investigaciones. Podemos destacar en particular en 1997 su formación de formación arqueológica, que fue organizada por el Instituto Nacional de Investigación de Propiedades Culturales en Nara, Japón. Y luego en 2003 su capacitación en digitalización y georreferenciación, organizado por la Autoridad Apsara en Mancuerno con la Universidad de California en Berkeley. En 2004 su capacitación en conservación y archivo cultural asistido por tecnología digital avanzada. También pues ahí dentro de un proyecto titulado Along the Maritime Silk Road, que fue organizado por la HAS en Tokio, Japón, y su capacitación en 2006 en la gestión de sitios del patrimonio mundial y sus aspectos tangibles e intangibles, que fue organizado por la UNITAR en Hiroshima, Japón. Ha participado en diferentes proyectos regidos por la Autoridad Nacional Apsara, como el proyecto de fundición de hierro antiguo. Luego también el proyecto binacional de la ruta Angkor Vivo, que es un primer proyecto. Luego también el proyecto de gestión territorial de Angkor, organizado por la Universidad de Sydney y la Autoridad Apsara y la Escuela Francesa de Extremo Oriente. Y también cabe mencionar el proyecto Gran Angkor sobre las redes de agua, que es también un proyecto ahí que fue conformado por la Autoridad Apsara y la Universidad de Sydney en Australia. Además, Kieu Chan ha publicado diferentes capítulos del libro, artículos académicos, como la restauración de los murales de Wat Bakong en Camboya en 2011, También ha publicado artículos en la revista Udaya, Journal of Khmer Studies. Ahí pueden en particular revisar un artículo sobre el proyecto de la ruta Angkor Vivo y sobre el sitio prehistórico de Costa Meas, que se encuentra al oeste de Baray, en Camboya. En fin, por lo pronto, dejamos la palabra al arqueólogo Kiu Chan, por favor.
Good morning, professor, scholars, and organizer. I would like to say apologize for my problem on the technical system. I really have a great honor to join this presentation with your colloquium. And I also would like to thank to Her Excellency Chao Sun Kiriya, His Excellency Hong Po, Director General of Apsara Authority, to appoint me to join this conference to share my new research in the Angkor Thom area. I would like to present you the location of the Angkor World Heritage Site. Angkor World Heritage Site is in the northwest of the country. Angkor was listed into the World Heritage Site in December 1992. As Angkor World Heritage Site, there are two different locations. The north one is at Buddhist. It is 20 square kilometers. The central one is the Central Angkor Park. There is the 351 square kilometers, and the southern part is the Rolus, is the first capital city of Angkor. There is 30 square kilometers. So the Angkor World Heritage Site, in total, there is 4,001 square kilometers. Angkor Thom, capital city, was located in the center of the central zone of the Angkor World Heritage Site. Here is the aerial photo to show the Angkor region. And also the Angkor Thom was located almost in the center of the plain. There is northern part, there is the mountain range, and slope down from northeast to the southwest to the Lesa Great Lake at the south. Just a brief information about the Angkor Thom. The great capital city was built by the King Jayavarman VII, who reigned from 1181 to 1218 Anno Domini. This capital city is a square of 3 by 3 kilometers. It means 9 square kilometers area was surrounded by an 8 meter in height of laterite enclosure wall and bordered by a moat with 5 gates. Was home a huge population and monument at its zenith. From now on, I would like to introduce you about the previous work when the friend scholar, the friend who worked in Cambodia. Here is just to show you the old photo that I got from the friend, the AFAO archive, the Friends School. This is the photo to show the elephant terrace on the southern part here. Here is the photo to show the Leper King at the northern part in here. And here is the map of the Royal Palace. We will talking about the Royal Plaza in front of the Royal Palace later on. Here is, I would like to show you about the Bayon temple. Is the temple was constructed, was built in the center of the capital city by the King Jayavarman VII. And this temple was studied by two French people, the Monsieur Dufour and Monsieur Capot, in the year 1901 to the year 1902 and year 1904. Here is the first Angkor conservator. His name is Jean Comay, who worked in the archaeological and the monument in Cambodia since the 1907 until 1919. He did a lot of work in the Angkor Thom area and also outside the Siem Reap province, like in Svay Rieng and so on. The first of his work is he is clearing a temple in the royal capital city. Is named Pimien Akas in the year 1908, and Suaprat is the group of temple in front of the royal capital city of the royal palace, and Rapitu and Kleng and so on, and Bapun, a temple was located a bit on the south of the royal palace here. Here is Mr. Henry Marshall, who is the architecture who do a lot of work, especially focus on the restoration work in the technique of the anastylosis. He is clearing the elephant terrace. That means the terrace in front of the royal palace. As you can see the photo along here, and Lipa King Terrace here, and also some monument in the jungle around here. Yeah. Here is the another one French scholar who prepared the work in the Angkor Thom. Especially he is reassembled the central tower of the Bayon temple. We are located in the central of the capital city here from the year 1935 to the year, from the year 1931 to the year 1935. Here is another Angkor conservator. His name is the Mr. Maurice Glaze. He is an anastylosis. A temple in the north of the royal palace is named Prepalilai. Look around here. And anastylosis, the massive central of the tower of the Bayon temple, and also the first people who are trying to dig out or evacuate all the soil was sedimented in the royal pond in a bit on the north of the royal palace around here, and find a lot of the objects like tile roof, like a tile and after tile and so on, and also sandstone carvings. Here's another one French scholar. His name is McCannon. He is clearing the first he cleared the elephant terrace. He tried to cut off all the vegetation along the elephant terrace and also the Lipa King terrace here. Yeah. And the last one I would like to present you is the Mr. Zoxedes, who are specialized in inscription. He translates all the Khmer and Sanskrit inscription of the of the Cambodia. Like he worked a lot and he published 8 books in inscription of related to Cambodia. The work was done before Angkor was listed into the World Heritage Site, like the restoration work and conservation work, and also the to build a new road network, and also the research work that find out the drainage system like here, and also the restoration work, and also the road network in here. All the road network, all the main road network was bordered by the canal along the road, and the canal was built by the laterite step until to the bottom. Here is another work of the EFAO Eco-Français Extrême-Orient after Angkor was listed into the World Heritage Site. Okay, here is another work after Angkor was listed into the World Heritage Site in December 1992. It's the EFAO, Mr. Pascal Royer, who are in charge of the restoration work of Bayon Temple. And here is another restoration work in charge of the northern part of the Elephant Terrace and Leper King Terrace. This work was led by Christophe Poitier. And here is another research work in charge of the Angkor Thom urbanization. This work was led by Professor Jacques Gaucher, who are specialized at the urbanization. His work in charge of the research work, he followed the previous work to find out the Angkor Thom. There is a grid line like this, or the road, and the piece of land was divided into the rectangular shape like this, and there are a lot of small roads in the capital city. And he also find out the canal along the main road with the laterite step down to the bottom of the road. And also he find out the structure of the road and water and drainage system like this that across the road here, like a bridge, but it's smaller than bridge. Here's another work that focus on the casting for the king, that the smelting side that they produce the bronze statues. This work was led by Mr. Brice Vincent, who worked in the capital city, a bit on the north of the Royal Palace here. And at the workshop area, they found out that the remain of the furnace and also the alloy of the lid, and also some pieces of the bronze, that the main material for casting. And here is another work from the University of Sydney, cooperate with EFAO and also Aboriginal Authority, focus on the sculpture workshop, Angkor workshop. I just pick up only part in the Angkor Thom area who work here. This location is in the is in the workshop of the casting for the king also. So that means this area is the main workshop, including stone sculpture and also casting for the king. That means melting for bronze statues and so on. And here is another team from Indonesia who do the restoration work on focus on the entrance of the royal palace. Here is the northern entrance. And here is the eastern entrance. Here is the southern entrance. During the restoration work, they also do the excavation work, find out a lot of roof tile, ceramics, and some metal objects. Here is another project from Japanese government team who's for safeguarding Angkor. He did the research work on the Surat, a group of temple in front of the royal palace here, and also focus on the central temple is named Bayon. They do the maintenance and restoration work, and also do the research work focus on the Bayon, around Bayon temple, and also in front of the Surat temple. Here is another new team from Korean who work focus on the elephant terrace, some part of the elephant terrace, and also the group of Prepitu. A group of temple was located a bit on the northeast of the royal palace here. Now, the Apsara Authority work. Apsara Authority is national authority, was established by the royal decree in the year 1995, who in charge of the Angkor World Heritage Site for cooperation work with international team. Here is we focus on the excavation work before we do the rehabilitation of the royal square or royal palace here. We set up 12 trench, but I show you only 8 trench in only 7 trench in this presentation. About the literature review of the royal square, all the scholars, they suggest that Angkor Thom was built by the King Jayavarman VII, and also the royal square was a huge management, all built like the elephant terrace, Libby King terrace, and so on, in the reign of the King Jayavarman VII, early of the 12th century and to late the 13th century. If we base on the Chinese envoy, his name is Chiu Takwon, he come to Cambodia in the late of the 13th century. That means in the year 96, I'm sorry, 1296. When he come to Angkor, he still see very well management in this area, and he also said that they always perform the ceremony on the elephant terrace. And he also talking about the custom and also the administration work in the royal palace. Here is the location of the Royal Plaza, and the excavation trend that we set up. Firstly, I would like to present you the two trend on the main road that get out from the Royal Palace to the Eastern Gate is named Victoria Gate. Yeah, here. Yes, for the eastmost trend, we can see the structure of the road in here. For the stratigraphy, we can divide it into three different stratigraphy. The topmost is the newest one, was done by the EFAO about the year 1940s, and the white layer here is, we suggest that should be in the middle of the 11th century, and the lowest one we suggest should be from the late of the 9th century or the middle of the late of the 10th century or the middle of the 10th century. We can see this the road structure like here, and there is a canal border the road, another one from another side over there, and another one is a bit moved to the west of the first one on the main road here. Like from over there is the entrance to the Royal Palace. We are on the main road. As you can see in the photo and also the drawing can show you the structure, clearly the structure of the road here. And there is a canal, one more here and the other here, border the road. The road wide is about 6 meters. And for the lowest, that means the first occupation of this side, we can see the trace of the wooden column here. Then we can suggest the first road of the Royal Palace should be from the late of the 9th century in the reign of the King Jayavarman, or middle of the 10th century in the reign of the King Jayavarman. And now I would like to show you some trend along the axis of the Angkor Thom city, the main road as the north-south axis of the city in front of the Royal Palace, from north to south. And here we have two trends, but actually I cannot show you another one small here. Yes, here's the north one. You can see clearly the stratigraphy and also the drainage system border the road, that means along the road here. And here is the excavation trench in front of the staircase. Go to the Royal Palace and get out to the Victoria Gate. Here we have two trends here. The small one is cut here. We found the drainage system was built of the laterite and sandstone here to evacuate the water from the during the rainy season from the elephant terrace from the west to the east by this direction. And here's the main road. Yeah, we found the trace of the wooden post hole along here, 5, and we check out at the north. We also find clearly 5. That means correlate with this. And we can suggest that the first of the main road in front of the Royal Palace should be built of the wooden structure, like a wooden gallery, was roofed by roof tile. And we also found the white spot, 3 white spot here, is the foundation of the road, is the tortoise of lead. Here I would like to show you about the stratigraphy to show the structure of the road here. The main road, the north-south road, yes. The upper one is the new road building by French and later on, and the second one on here, I suggest that this road was renovated or rebuilt by the King Jayavarman VII, associated with this drainage system. And the lowest one should be built from the middle of the 11th century, possibly in the reign of the King Jayavarman I, and the lowest one, that means the first occupation of the Royal Palace here should be the late of the 9th of the 10th century, during the King Jayavarman, or the middle of the 10th century, Rajendravarman. Yes. Another one trend that I told you, that we can see the trace of the wooden post hole, like here. The gap from one hole to the other is 2 meters and 30 centimeters regularly along this road. And here is the, what I told you is the foundation of the road. We found 3 turtles. And all the head was turned to the south. If we're thinking about the foundation, it's really a religious ceremony.
Bueno, si nos está escuchando, sí, parece que se había congelado la imagen. Seems that your camera picture was frozen, so could you share your screen again? Okay. And turn on your microphone, please, Mr. Chan. Your microphone is off.
Okay.
That's it.
Yes, okay, thank you. Yep. Here is another trend is on the southmost of the elephant terrace. You can see the stratigraphy that show us the structure of the road very well here, and also the drainage system here. Yeah. Here is another one trend on the southmost of the access in front of the Bayon temple. You can see clearly the stratigraphy to show us there is 4 different stages or 4 different periods. And here is another one I would like to show you about the trend that we try to set up like a middle of the Royal Plaza on the north. That means connected from the group of the temple at the east to the northern part of the Royal Palace. And here is the southern one of the Royal Plaza. We are connected from the group of the temple, that means South Kliang, to the southern part of the Royal Palace. And also we set up along the main road from north to south to find out the stratigraphy and the structure of the Royal Plaza. Here is the southern one that they are connected from the South Kliang temple to the southern part of the Royal Palace. We can see clearly the stratigraphy to show us there is a road connecting from the southern Kliang to the southern part or the southern gate of the Royal Palace. Yeah. The lowest one, it should be the first occupation in this divinity, and the second one should be from the 11th century, and this small part was repaired or innovated, suggests to be in the reign of the King Jayavarman VII, but the topmost is the Eiffel that they fill up some soil where they cleared from the Bayon temple. And here is another one trend on the northern part of the Royal Square. I can show you about the stratigraphy here. The uppermost is the recently soil was filled up by French when they do the restoration work of the northern part of the Elephant Terrace and the Leopard King Terrace. But for the red line to limit the top of the second layer is to show that the depression of not the road but of the parts that they are connected from the northern Kliang, northern group of the temple to the northern part of the Royal Palace. And the white line to identify that the first occupation of this region. Here is another one that we try to convince, or we try to understand the stratigraphy of the Royal Plaza. The upper part is the new filling soil, and from the black line down is the Angkorian occupation site. And based on all the trend in this area, that means the Royal Plaza was managed or was built only one time, and there is some small spot was repaired. Just to brief all the stratigraphy where I did the excavation, the recue excavation here. Yes, the layer 1, the upper layer, the soil is mixed. Yeah? The texture with stone, chip, and quartz, and texture is like a sand color. It's a bit dark gray and brown. Hardness of the soil is medium compact. Is the modern that we suggest should be from the field when they do the clearance or some work in the Angkor Thom area that they dump in here in the Royal Plaza. Layer 2, the soil is mixed but rare stone chip and quartz. Texture is sandy with less clay. Color is gray. Hardness is medium compact. This layer is suggested to be a part of the restoration of the road in late 3rd Angkorian period. That means perhaps in the reign of the King Jayavarman VII or the medieval period. Layer 3, soil is very fine, loamy, sandy. It's mixed in texture. Color is white or light gray. Hardness is medium compact. This layer is the sand occupation or construction of the road in Angkorian period, perhaps in the reign of the King Jayavarman I. And layer 4, the soil is sandy clay, many with green glass, some of gravel of the laterite and manganese. Color is red brown. Hardness is medium compact. This layer is possibly the first occupation of Angkorian period when the King Jayavarman or moved the capital from Ruluh to Angkor, or in the reign of Rajendra Varman when he moved the capital from Koke to Angkor again. Layer 5, the soil is sandy clay with gravel of laterite and manganese. Color is red brown. Hardness is medium compact. It should be the natural deposit. Finding. We find a lot of roof tile in here, as you can see. Only 2 trench, I was counting, it's almost 2,000 pieces of roof tile. And Khmer ceramic, it's almost 600 pieces. It's brown glaze, and Chinese ceramics, and some identified ceramics. And also we find out iron slates, 1 piece, iron bar or iron tool, 10 pieces, bronze is the just a small pieces of bronze, 5 pieces, and 3 tortoise of lead. That is the foundation of the road, that they use as a foundation of the road. 4 pieces of quartz or crystal, sandstone cowling, a part of Garuda, a part of Naga head, a part of lion, a part of cylindrical, and also the drainage system. stone as a sluice. And another drainage system was built on earth as the canal along the road, the north-south road, and also the east-west road. The structure of the road, the width of the road is 5.9 meter to 6 meter in wide and bordered by canal 1 meter each. 14 traces of post hole of wooden post hole was found, 7 pieces of glasses and 7 ballots. Here is the image or the photo that show you some finding from our recute excavation. Here is some ceramics, and here is a piece of 5 pieces of bronze and some glasses, some iron too, and here a lot of the roof tile and ceramics and so on. Is the sandstone covering to identify the part of the Garuda, cylindrical, a part of lion, a part of Naga head. Here is a ritual foundation. They buried 3 turtle of lead in front of the staircase of the royal palace here. And here is the trace of the post hole was finding along our excavation. Here is the drainage system, the canal along the road, here, and the drainage system to evacuate the water from one side to another side of the road. Conclusion. Relative dating. If we base on the relative dating, a greenless tile of white clay as the first occupation of the East Road is in the early or middle of the 10th century during the reign of the King Jayavarman or Rajendravarman. The East Road of the royal palace was built up 2 phases in Angkorian period. The first phase is a long wooden building or gallery with tile bordered by canal in the reign of the King Jayavarman or Rajendravarman. And the second phase is hard up by a fine loamy sand soil bordered by canal, suggests to be in the reign of the King Jayavarman I. North-south road is in front of the elephant terrace, is built 2 phases in Angkorian period and sometime renovated or restored in late of Angkorian period or medieval period. The top surface of the royal plaza or royal square is newly was piled up of fine loamy sandy only one time. There is a road communicate or link from the South Kliang to the royal palace. This road was built up in 2 phases and 1 ring road. There is no road structure, but there is a pathway communicated from the North Kliang temple to the northern part of the royal palace. The first main road of the royal palace to the east is built with the ritual foundation of 3 turtles of deep to purify all the people before going into the royal palace or maintain the road for long using. Proposal or recommendation. The royal square or royal palace should be set up a research program and do more research in royal square such as Angkor Thom city. Use some important result of research to present at Thai museum somewhere. Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias, Kiu-chan. Muchas gracias por esta presentación. Vamos a pasar a la sesión de preguntas. Now we are going to the Q&R sessions. Maybe, I don't know, maybe first if Fernando Aceves could join us and have a first reaction about what we heard from Kiu-chan right now, and then I will gather all the questions for the Q&A session. Voy a dejar la palabra al maestro Fernando Aceves para que nos diera ahí eventualmente sus primeras reacciones ahí acerca de esta presentación. Y mientras voy a juntar ahí las preguntas que nos están llegando por la herramienta de Q&A aquí en Zoom. Entonces, pues estamos al pendiente. Adelante, Fernando.
I would like to ask you, what's the turtle means for the Cambodian culture?
The meaning of the turtle in the Khmer civilization be based on the religious. The first one, the turtles represented the Buddha, one of the 5 Buddha in Buddhist religion. And the other one, the turtles is represented the decarnation of the god, Vishu god, who decarnate into the turtles to support the Mount Mandara during the churning the ocean of the milk to find out the immortal liquid. And for the local people, the tortoise is represented a long-lived animal, and also they use as the foundation of some construction, especially the road or something else. That means to show that to offer that all these things that they build up for a long life still. And another one, to sanctify, to purify all the people who are walk across these turtles.
Thank you very much. It's beautiful. And I would like to ask you what moved you when you were more young? What makes you decide to choose archaeology as a career? What impressed you when you was a child or young to decide to be archaeologist?
For me, I decided to choose this archaeology because of I absorbed in the history of Angkor. When I was a child, my ancestor used to introduce me or like a tale folk related to Angkor monument. Like an impressive monument was built by a god, not was built by a human being. So I want to solve this this problem. I decide to to study the history and especially the archaeology. And another one, there is a field trip because I like adventure. And after I finish my school, I come to Apsara, work with the international team. I have a chance to work a lot of a historical site, like the along the main road from Angkor to Pimai. I have a chance to walk along that road. This is one of the adventure, one of my hobby that I decided to study archaeology.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, related to the Varman was the accompanied with the name of the Angkorian king. The Varman is a word like a protection object, like protection, like a seal that means to holy the king, that means to sanctify the king from enemy or from bad spirit and so on. If there is someone who know well about this, please assist me to convince him. For the posthumous name of the king after he go to the Svarga. This the traditional this custom was start from the first king is named Jayavarman II, who the first king who built the Angkor civilization and also the Angkor historical.
Okay, that's very interesting.
This traditional for the Cambodian king still practiced until nowadays, but for the another nation like Thai or Laos, we didn't see do this custom like Cambodia.
Tengo otra pregunta para el señor Chan. I got another question for you. The other question is from Maestro Francesco, who asked, is archaeology a career that is sought after in the university? Are there many? Are there a lot of students who like to study archaeology in Cambodia? Are there a lot of archaeology students in Cambodia?
គាត់សួរថាមាននិស្សិតខ្មែរនឹងរៀនបុរាណវិទ្យានឹងច្រើនទេហើយបើចប់ពីសាលាទៅគឺទៅជា archaeologist អស់ឬមិនណាចានឹងសັບបានទេចា
I try to understand to answer your question because of the sound is like
okay,
like interrupt. I cannot listen clearly, but I try to answer your question. In Cambodia, normally we have 30 students a year in the Faculty of Archaeology, 30 students a year, but sometimes less than 30. And
okay,
as the last recent year, I saw just some part of the country, like in Siem Reap, like in Prevang, there is like most of the students want to study archaeology. But anyway, I really don't know exactly. You can ask to the director, to the dean, or to the to His Excellency Heng Supadi. He is the in charge of that education.
okay. Bueno, nosotros checaremos, compararemos luego la cifra y con los estudiantes mexicanos. Yo creo que es un poquito diferente acá. No hay más preguntas, por lo pronto. Vamos a agradecer al profesor Chan. Sí, tenemos una pregunta ahí de parte de un colega del profesor Chan, de Engsofadi. Por favor, si gusta ahí hacer su pregunta, could you make your question, please, Mr. Engsofadi?
I'm not have the question, but I want to add with the Mr. Kichan who mentioned related to your question earlier about the number of students who study in archaeology. Of course,
Okay.
he is right because he is a former student of the Faculty of Archaeology. So from previous, since the Faculty of Archaeology reopened after the Khmer rule, we accept only 30 students to study in the faculty each year. Yeah, only 30 because it's a limit. Actually, we do not have enough infrastructure. We do not enough human resources. Until now, it's still 30 people who can enroll to study in the Faculty of Archaeology. But before I come to the rector of the Royal University of Fine Art, I recognize that during the last few years, the number of the students who enroll to study in the Faculty of Archaeology is decreased. I do not know why. We do our best to disseminate, to explain to them, to attract them to study in archaeology, because as you know that we have 3 national authorities who work on the World Heritage Site. We need more archaeologists to work, but the students did not interested. But now, this year, the number of students who enroll in the Faculty of Archaeology is more than 30 for the foundation year, and I hope that they will continue until the end of his study. And then, of course, we try to, even I want to have the question, since Mr. Kum Sutton or Mr. Pei Sum Eun, he gave a presentation, and some of you asked him about his background. I also want to compare and want to know about your side, about the situation of the university in Mexico. How can the university attract the students to apply to study in the faculty in Mexico? This is we can learn from each other. I also want to increase the number of students. You know, even at the beginning there is the 30 people, but at the end 10 or even more than 10 will be stopped. From when they come to level 2, level 3, then they stop. At the end, we have only 20 or less than 20 students who graduate. Yes, this is the problem in Cambodia. I hope this situation will be better in the future.
Realmente una muy buena presentación la que tuvimos ahí de parte de Q Chan. Muchas gracias a nuestros colegas camboyanos que han estado con nosotros el día de hoy. Muchísimas gracias a esta charla que nos prepara Guillermo de Anda acerca de sus exploraciones ahí con su proyecto de gran acuífero maya allá por Yucatán, la península de Yucatán. Entonces estaremos hablando tanto de megafauna como pues de la presencia de los primeros seres humanos en el continente americano y pues todas esas manifestaciones ya más pues ya más mayas en este sentido, de los mayas en particular prehispánicos y hasta de esa manera hasta la fecha. Muchísimas gracias a todos por haber estado con nosotros. Entonces, pues la próxima sesión para el día lunes, para este cierre espectacular que tenemos del coloquio de Arqueología y Restauración México-Camboya. Muchísimas gracias. Hasta luego.